Okay, good morning, sixth graders. It is Thursday, April 23rd, and we are going to finish up this packet. So we're going to look first at page 27, identifying equivalent expressions. Now we have to determine whether each pair of expressions is equivalent. Show your work. Now remember, these are just expressions. These are not, we're not looking for answers here. We're just seeing if this expression and this expression says the same thing. Okay? So this one right here means 2 times x minus y. Okay, and we have to see if that's the same as 2x minus 2y. Okay, so when we do this, we can do 2 times x, it's called using the distributive property, minus 2 times y. So let's look at that. Does this equal that? Yes, it does. So this is a yes. Now remember, we don't have any numbers to put in for those variables. These are just expressions. So whatever numbers we would be given, this would still turn out the same, okay? All right, so let's take a look at this one. 4 times, parentheses, x plus y, and 4y plus 4x. So I'm going to use the text box because I think that might work out better. And then I can write in it for you. Okay, so, all right, so 4, parentheses, x plus y, parentheses. We want to see if that's the same as 4y plus 4x. Okay? All right. So using the distributive property, we would do 4 times x, which is 4x, plus 4 times y, which is 4y. So you see, when we do that, let me change this to, oh, there we go. So we just are multiplying 4 times x. Oops, it's not letting me. Hold on. Hold on. Oh, I wanted this one. 4x, you see that? 4 times x. And then we go back plus 4 times y. So now, we need to know if that is equivalent to 4y plus 4x. Okay, now the terms are written differently. 4x is first over here, and 4y is first over here. So we have to decide if they're still equivalent. Well, remember the commutative property, okay? If we said 2 plus 3 equals 3 plus 2. So 4y plus 4x, you can still say 4x plus 4y. So this is also a yes. These are equivalent. Okay? All right. So let's look at number 3. I'm going to change it back to a text box. All right. So we're going to look at this. Okay, C is set up a little bit differently. This is what we're trying to find out if this is equal to this. So let's put this down first over here. C plus 2p times 2. So all we're doing here is just like we did up here, only we're starting over here. So we are going to multiply 2 times c, and we get 2c, plus 2 times 2p, well 2 times 2 is 4p, okay, so 2c plus 4p. So this equals 2c plus 4p, okay? We have to have it equal to 4p plus 3c. Okay, again, because of the commutative property, it doesn't matter if we write 2c first and then the 4p. But if we want to make it look the same as up there, then you can see that they are not equal, because this says 4p plus 3c, this says 4p plus 2c. So these are not equivalent, okay? All right, let's move on to number 4. All right, it's similar to this in that we have to look at this first, this side first. So let's look at this. Remember, we're multiplying this number. It's called the distributive property. We multiply 7 times 3q, and we get 21q. And then it's minus sign there, and then we do 7 times p, so it's 7p. And we can see that that is the same as this. So 21q minus 7p is equal to this, because when we use a distributive property, we get the same answer. So the answer here is yes, they are equal. Okay? All right, let's go on to number 5. I have to pause it and move the screen up, so I'm going to lose my markings, but you should still keep yours. All right, okay. Okay, so 8a minus 12v is not equal, and we show that by putting the equal sign and a line through it. Okay, is not equal to 8a, plus 6v. They are not equal. Okay, so the answer here is no. All right, great. All right, and number 6. Okay, I'd like you to try this one on your own. Remember what to do. You have to distribute the 8 to these two terms. So 8 times 3x plus 8 times c minus 1, see if that, and write it out here. Put down 8 times 3x, write that here, plus 8 times c, write that here, minus 1 equals, and see if that, what you get equals 8, c plus 24x minus 1. Okay? All right, great. All right, let's move on to the next page. Looks like we're continuing here, and it's all the exact same thing as what we just did. So let's see if there's, hold on a minute, hold on. Okay, this is more of the same, only here you're going to have to distribute this one, and then over here you've got to distribute the 2 here. Now I am going to go over 8 because I want to show you how to combine like terms. Okay, so each of these is called a term. 2x is a term, 2x, 2c, 6. These are all terms, okay? So let's look at up here. It says 2x plus 2x. Well, we can combine those two terms, okay, by just putting them in parentheses. 2x plus 2x, All right, those are like terms. Okay, 2c is different, so we can't include 2c in the parentheses. Plus 2c, and then 6 is different, a different kind of term, so we're going to put that here. Okay, now we can solve that, and we do 2x plus 2x, that equals 4x, plus 2c plus 6. Okay? All right. Now let's check and see if it's the same as this one. I'm going to change the color on this so that you can see a clear difference. So over here we have to distribute the 2. You see it's in the back. So 2 times 2x is 4x. Okay, this is plus, because this is plus. Then we have to distribute 2 to the c, 2c. And then this is plus. And then we have to distribute 2 times 3 plus 6. And you can see that they are the same. So yes, these are equivalent. Okay, I just wanted to show you how to do one of those kind. All right, and then number 11 says, how can you check your answer to problem 8? Oh, we just did that one, by choosing values for the variables. Okay, all right, well, let's take a look at that. Hold on a minute, I gotta pause this for a minute. Okay, so what they're asking you to do is go back and look at number 8 and put values in for x and c. I would pick different ones than me just so you can see how it works with your numbers. So just pick any number for x, any number for c, and then substitute them. So this was, it said 2x plus 2x plus 2c plus 6 is what it was. So I put in for the x, I put 2 times 3 plus 2x 2 times 3 plus 2c, which is 2 times 5 plus 6. And we get that, we solve that by, let me switch to my marker. Okay, and we get 6 plus 6 plus 10 plus 6. Several different ways you can add these up. You could do 6 times 3 is 18, 18 plus 10 is 28, or you could just 6 plus 6 is 12, plus 10 plus 6 is 16, and 16 plus 12 is 28, but we get 28 here. And then you get whatever you put in for those numbers. Now over here, we have to do it a little bit differently. We are distributing the 2, and actually this should be even a bigger parentheses here. You're doing 2 times, you can do 2 times 3 is 6, 2 times 6 is 12, plus 5, c is 5, plus 3. Oh, no, look, I did that wrong. I hope you caught it. It's 2 times 3. Okay, I forgot to put, you know what, guys? I did this one wrong. I forgot to distribute. 2 times 3 is 6. 6 times 2 is 12. That one I did right. Okay, now this, I didn't put the 5 in here, and I needed to. So now it's plus 2 times 5, which is 10, and then plus 2 times 3, which is 6. So ignore this one. I can't erase it because if I erase it, everything goes away. So we're distributing this 2. Okay, 2 times 3 is 6, so 2 times 6 is 12. Or you could have done 2 times 2 is 4, plus 2 times 3 is 6. Plus 2 times 5 is 10, plus 2 times 3 is 6. And what did I do wrong here? 2 times 2 is 4, 2 times 3 is 6. Hold on. Okay, let's go back to my original. 2 times 3 is 6, 6 times 2 is 12, plus 2 times 5 is 10, plus 2 times 3 is 6. 12 plus 6 is 18, 18 plus 10 is 28. Sorry if I confused you a little there. All right, there we go. So that just shows that if you put numbers in for those variables, you can see how those two expressions are equivalent. All right, let's continue on. Okay, let's take a look at number 1 on page 29. Okay, it says in the first 3 innings of a baseball game, the home team scored some runs. In the rest of the game, they scored 5 runs more than the number of runs scored in the first 3 innings. All right, so in the first 3 innings, 1 through 3, it just says they scored some runs. So we're going to call that X. We don't know how many runs they got in the first 3 innings. That's what we have to find out. Okay? The rest of the game, so innings 4 through 9, they scored 5 more runs. Let's see, what did they score? They scored 5 runs more than the number of runs scored in the first 3 innings. So they scored 5 more runs than what they scored in the first 3 innings. So, sorry. This is what they scored in the first 3 innings, and they scored 5 more than that, so the rest of the game. So now we've got this X plus 5 equals 9. So this is the first 3 innings, X. This was the first 3 innings plus 5, and altogether they had 9. All right, so we're going to combine terms. X plus X is 2X plus 5 equals 9. We're not doing that distributive right now because this is not multiplication, this is addition. Okay, so 2x plus 5, 2x plus 5 equals 9. Okay, so what we have to do is get x all by itself. Okay, so we have to do some work first to do that. First, we have to get rid of the 5. And the way we do that, this is plus 5, we have to subtract 5 from both sides. Okay, so if we subtract 5 from this side, it's just goes away, it's 0. So now we've got 2x equals 4. 9 minus 5 is 4. All right, so now we still don't have x by itself. So 2x equals 4. This is multiplication. The opposite of that is division. So we're going to divide this side and this side by 2. Okay, and then we're left with x equals 2. So what this means is that in the first 3 innings, they scored 2 runs. All right, and the rest of the game, they scored 2 runs plus 5, so 7. So altogether, they scored 9. Okay, that's how we do that one. All right, we're going to skip to number 3. I think on these 2 pages, we'll just do the odd numbers, so 1, 3, and 5. If you want to try the others on your own, that'll be great. But I'm going to go over 1, 3, and 5. All right, so Vanessa is a caterer. She made several batches of appetizers last weekend for an event. This weekend, Vanessa made 4 times as many batches. She made a total of 25 batches of appetizers for the 2 weekends. Determine the number of batches Vanessa made last weekend and the number of batches she made this weekend. Let B equal the number of batches of appetizers Vanessa made last weekend. Okay, so it tells us to use B for the number of batches of appetizers Vanessa made last weekend. Okay, so this weekend, so there's B, that's for last weekend. Okay, this weekend it says she made 4 times that, so we're going to make this weekend equal to 4B. And then she made a total of 25 batches between the 2 weekends. So determine the number of batches Vanessa made last weekend and the number of batches she made this weekend. All right, so we've got B, last weekend's batches, plus 4B, this weekend's batches, and we're told in the selection there that it equals 25. So B plus 4B equals 25. All right, so we can add these terms because they're the same, B. So this is essentially 1B. So 1 plus 4 is 5. 5B equals 25. Now we know that we have to get B all by itself to find out how many batches she made the first weekend in one batch. Okay, so this is division. We're going to divide by 5 to get B by itself. Whoops. Uh-oh, hold on. Not sure what happened there. Okay, all right, let's see. Okay, so now this gets rid of the 5s and we're left with B equals, and 25 divided by 5 we know is 5. So last weekend she made 5 batches. And then this weekend, she made 4 times 5, or 20 batches. All right? Do you see how we did that? I hope you do. If you have any questions, dojo me. All right, we're going to move on to the number 5. So let me pause this. All right, number 5 says Charlene is 8 years older than Aaron. The sum of their ages is 44. What are their ages? All right. Well, let's just say A. Oops. A is Aaron's age. Okay. All right. All right. And then it says that Charlene is 8 years older than Aaron. So Aaron is 8. This is Aaron plus Charlene's age. Charlene is Aaron's age plus 8. Okay. And then we know that their ages combined, or the sum of their ages, sum means to add, is 44. Okay? All right, so that's what your expression should look like, or equation should look like. So now let's combine terms. So A plus A is 2A, okay? Plus 8. Okay, we're not multiplying here. We only multiply when the variable is right next to parentheses. So 2A plus 8, we know equals 44. Okay, now our whole job is to get A by itself. So in order to get rid of the 8 on this side, this is plus 8, so we're going to have to, and I'll try to write a little smaller here, 2A plus 8 minus 8 equals 44 minus 8. Whatever we do to one side, we have to do to the other side. Okay? All right, so now we got rid of the 8s because 8 minus 8 is 0. We're left with 2A equals, and 44 take away 8 is 36. Okay? All right, now we have to get A by itself. So this is multiplication. We are going to divide both sides by 2 to find out Aaron's age. So A equals 36 divided by 2 is 18. So Aaron is 18, And Charlene is 8 years older than Aaron, so Charlene is 26. So Charlene is 26 and Aaron is 18. 18 plus 8 is 26, or 26 plus 18. The sum of their ages is 44. All right, good. I hope that helps. One thing I just want to give you a hint, if you do decide to do number 6, you'll want to change 45% to a decimal, and that would be 0.45. If that helps you, then just go ahead and do the rest of that one. And let me see if there's any others on the top part that might have given you. Number 2, 4 should be easy enough for you to do since we did 3 examples. And just know that number 2, you can see that there's decimals in there, but you guys know how to add and subtract decimals, so you'll be fine. All right, let's move on. All right, so on this last page, we are going to write and graph inequalities. So let's look at this. A farmer weighs a dozen chicken eggs. The heaviest egg is 56 grams. All right, so we have to tell how much the rest of the dozen eggs weigh. So we know the heaviest is 56. So we have that, at least one is 56, maybe more. If that's the heaviest, then all the rest are either equal to 56 or less than 56. So each egg is either less than or equal to 56. Okay? All right, let's look at this one. A light bulb is programmed to turn on when the temperature in a terrarium is 72 degrees or cooler. All right, so we know that it can be up to 72 degrees or colder or less than 72. It can't be higher. So the temperature, T, can equal 72 or it can be cooler than 72. 71, 70, 69 in the 60s, all the way down. Anything less than 72. So that's what it's telling us, that the highest it can be is 72 and everything else would be cooler. All right, I want you to try 3 and 4. So Martin is building a sandcastle at the beach. He pours no less than 5 cups of wet sand into each plastic mold. Okay? So we need to know, we are solving for sand. Okay? All right, so Martin is building a sandcastle. Okay, so we're going to say sandcastle. He pours no less than this. So there's not going to be 4 or 3 or 2. So what would we put here? If the smallest is going to be 5, then everything else has to be what? It can be 5 or it can be no less than 5. So you put the term or the inequality sign in there for what you think it is. All right, and then on here, the shortest tree in a park is at least 25.5 feet tall. All right, so this is the shortest one. So can it be bigger? Can it be the same? So what would H be here? All right, let's move on after you write that in there. Let's look at number 5. N is greater or equal to -2. All right, okay. So let's take a look at this. N is greater or equal to -2. So what you'll want to do is you'll have to put your numbers in here. Oops, I keep losing this. So this is going to be 0. This would be -1, -2. I'm going to skip now that we are started. So you know that this is -3, this is -5, this is -6, -7, -8, just so my numbers don't all run together. All right, so number one, it can be equal to -2. So when it's equal, we are going to shade in that dot. All right, and then it says greater than. So our line has to go this way because it's greater than. Okay, you see that? All right, let's look at h is less than or equal to 5. So we have to go in here and put in our numbers. So here's 0, here's 1, here's 2. Now I'm going to go by 2's. 4, 6, 8. Just otherwise the numbers scrunch up too much. So 0, 1, 2, this is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, so h is less than or equal to 5. All right, well, if it's equal to 5, we are going to have a closed circle because it's 5 is one of our choices. It's equal to it. And then less than. So remember, less than goes this way. Oops. All right. So that's how you do that. All right. So I'm going to let you do, well, of course, there's decimals and fractions there. I'm going to at least get you to where you can see how you have to write out your number line. So let's look at this. Okay, so we have got, let's start here. We can do 7 here. Okay, so this would be 7.1. This is 7.2. Oops. Oh, that's not very neat. I'm going to scoot over here to 7.4. And this is 7.6. And you guys know that this is 7.3 and this is 7.5. So this way, if we're going this way, we're going to, this would be 6.9. And this is 6.8. Okay, so all the numbers here are going to go down. Oops, oh, we got scrunched together. All right, you see the equal sign, so it's going to include 7.1. And now you draw the line. This says less than, so you know which way less than goes, and you put that in there, okay? All right, now, all right, let's look at this one. This says -2/3, so I'm going to get you, help you with where to place the numbers, all right? So let's say that right here, 1, 2, 3, this is 0. All right, so 1, 2, 3, this is 1. This is all with thirds. So 1 is the same as 3/3. Okay? Make sure you, let's see. Hold on. I don't want you to, these are separated. 1 and 3/3 are the same thing. All right. So this is 1/3, 2/3, 3/3. Okay? So this is 1, 2, 3. This is -1 right here. Okay? Or -3/3. So this is -1/3, -2/3. This is -3/3. Okay? -3/3 is the same as -1. 3/3 is the same as 1. So where would you find -2/3? Here's 0. We're going this way, -1/3. negative 2/3, negative 3/3. So since the equal sign is there, you're going to include negative 2/3. So go ahead and put a dot there, and then you mark the line greater than that. Okay? All right. All right, and the last question. What is the difference between the inequality x is less than or equal to 5 and the equation x is equal to 5? Well, x is equal to 5 is just 1 point on the number line, okay? So you would just go to 5 and put 1 dot. X is, it says less than or equal to, that's going to be a range of numbers, as you just saw. So you'd find 5 and x is less, it would include 5, but then it's a range of numbers less than 5. So this is a less than or equal to sign. It's kind of scrunched, but that's what that should look like. All right, guys, that's it. I know that was a long video. Good luck. Let me know if you are still confused on anything, and I can call you. I can go over the video with you, whatever you need. All right. Let's see. This was the 23rd, so have a great weekend. Bye.